I created the Sexual Investigations Unit in January of 2016 to investigate and prosecute sexual offenses that are attempted or committed against adult victims and younger victims that are not handled by our special victims or domestic violence units. In addition to sexual offenses, the Sexual Investigations Unit investigates and prosecutes human trafficking cases, endangering the welfare of children, either of a sexual or non-sexual nature, child pornography cases, internet sex crimes, and violations of the conditions of community supervision for life committed by convicted sex offenders.
The SIU unit was created to provide vertical prosecution of these cases. This means that victims will interact with the same detectives and assistant prosecutors during the investigation and once the prosecution commences. The unit consists of a chief assistant prosecutor who oversees a staff of assistant prosecutors and detectives with extensive background and experience in the investigation of sexual assault cases. The investigations primarily begin in the local police department or at a college or university. All sexual assault investigations are reviewed by the SIU unit prior to criminal charges being filed. In November of 2018, Attorney General Gurbir Grewal implemented procedures and protocols for sexual assault response and referrals, also known as AG Directive 2018-5. The directive was implemented to strengthen law enforcement's response to sexual assault crimes, while also reinforcing the victim-centered approach that law enforcement takes in these cases. In addition, the Attorney General's office also issued the third edition of the Attorney General Standards for Providing Services to Victims of Sexual Assault. The Standards, as it is commonly called, lists 14 protocols designed to most effectively assist sexual assault victims. The directive explains that a victim-centered approach includes ensuring the victim's safety is a top priority, respecting the integrity, choices, and autonomy of each victim, protecting the victim's privacy and confidential information, identifying and responding to the obstacles some victims may face when seeking help, and recognizing the importance of victim feedback in improving responses to sexual assault. The SIU unit consults with victims, if requested, during the investigative stage, as well as during plea negotiations once charges have been filed. If charges are declined, the SIU assistant prosecutor will explain to the victim why charges are not viable, in addition to ensuring that services are explained and made available. Sexual assault survivors may be able to request a Nichols Law Sexual Offense Restraining Order, or SORO, once criminal charges are filed. Survivors may also be able to request a Sexual Assault Survivor Protection Act Restraining Order, or SASPA, through the family court, regardless of whether charges are filed.
SART stands for Sexual Assault Response Team and consists of a forensic nurse examiner, a confidential sexual violence advocate, and a law enforcement officer. The SART provides a compassionate and coordinated response to victims of sexual assault. Victims may choose the SART team members to assist them in the investigation. In New Jersey, SART services are available to individuals 13 years of age and older who disclose an incident of sexual abuse within the 5-day period. If a victim fits the criteria and presents to a healthcare facility, a sexual violence service organization, or a law enforcement agency, the victim is informed about the availability of the specialized services of the SART. The victim can then make the decision to give the collection of specimens to law enforcement or to request that the prosecutor's office hold it for a minimum of 5 years, or they can decline a forensic medical exam. The victim may return at any time within the 5-day period of the assault to have an exam done. Regardless of the choices the victim makes, medication is offered for sexually transmitted disease and HIV prophylaxis and to prevent pregnancy. There will be no charge to the victim for the hospital visit and any services provided by the SART.